Përshëndetje shikues të Monitor, jemi në një episod të ri të podcastit ton Business Plus dhe do të flasim sot për venture capital si një alternativë financimi për bizneset e reja, për startupet. Për të folur rreth kësaj teme, kemi të ftuar në podcastin ton zotin Julien Coustaury, është partner menaxhues i kompanisë Fil Rouge Capital. Mr. Coustaury, it's a pleasure to have you as a guest in our podcast.
Pleasure is mine. Mirëmëngjes.
Mirëmëngjes. First of all, a general audience here in Albania maybe is not really familiar with the concept of venture capital. So if you can briefly introduce it to our audience. I mean, what is venture capital and how can it help startups growing and developing?
Okay. So you have to see venture capital as your first check, essentially. So when you start a new project, generally in the technology sector, you have to see venture capital as the first entity that can, invest 100, 200, up to 500,000 euros, let's say, into your project. Generally, it comes at a stage where your product is about to be finished. So you have a product to offer to the market and you want to launch it, and then you need funds to launch it too. So to finish it and to have a bit of marketing around your product to launch it. So that's see it as the first check when you start a company.
Your company, Fil Rouge Capital, has so far a quite important portfolio of projects here in the region. Can you tell us something more about your experience and background in the Western Balkans?
Yeah, so Fil Rouge Capital, we are almost at about 100 million of asset under management. We've made about a bit more than 160 investments in total. And we are originated in the region. We are based in Croatia. We opened yesterday our new office in Tirana, just to complete the focus on the region. We very much like the region. We think that there is our investment strategy lies on the fact that it is generally cheaper to develop a product in the region. And today, with the capacity that are offered to you by the digital revolution, you can sell this product to the world. So our investment motto is build locally, sell globally. And we think that this is that the region has an unfair advantage to do so. It costs about the ratio is about 1 to 7 in terms of cost per seat if you compare the region to the Silicon Valley. So as you can see, you can be much more capital efficient for a VC when you invest 500,000 euro. That gets you much further.
So you think this region is quite a good opportunity for your business and of course for startups, but also building startups in markets like Albania, small countries with underdeveloped maybe financial system might be quite challenging. From your point of view, which might be the main challenges of building a startup in countries like Albania?
Okay, so first, talent is equally spreaded. Capital is not. That's kind of what we do. We bring capital where there is no capital. In a way, we also creating our own market. We are a startup ourselves. As far as Albania is concerned, what could be the issue? I would say we've been active in the market. It's not new. Although we opened an office yesterday, we've been active. We've made 3 investments already in Albanian startups. And I think what is very important is you mentioned the size of the market. I think very quickly, whenever I talk to founders and entrepreneurs, my first question is, are you only interested to be the champion in Albania or do you want to conquer the world? And I think that is the mentality that we need to look for in Albanian entrepreneurs. And rightfully so, you're an amazing people of entrepreneur. That's something that is in the genes of Albanian people, is to be entrepreneur, and that's what we love. That's what we're here. But I think that the question, and back to your question, is what is very important is that from the get-go, the Albanian entrepreneurs we speak to want to go beyond Albania. Because, of course, the Albanian market, as good as it is to test your product, to use as a initial product market fit, it's not going to be big enough for us as investors to deliver the return we are aiming at.
So the bottom line is sell globally.
Build locally, build in Albania, sell to the world. I mean, it's very simple. We are not rocket scientists.
From what you have observed so far, you see good potentials in the Albanian market, or even already promising experiences from startup projects?
Yes, I mean, look, you know the initial winners in the tech world. I mean, you have POC, which is doing well. You have Patoko. You have if you extend a little bit to Kosovo, you have Giraffe. You have Baboon. I mean, you have a scene already of companies that are doing extremely well, which have this vision to not to be only satisfied with their number one position in their home country. So it is nascent. But I think it has a very bright future. That's why we also made the decision to be more present here.
If a startup wants to provide some financing from your fund, I mean, what should you do from your fund or even from another fund? It's not just about advertising your
first
fund.
They should come to us.
Yes.
Not to anyone else.
Yes.
We are the best VC in the world. What should they do? Well, so it's very simple. We've made it very simple. First of all, the best way is always to get an introduction, or what's called a warm introduction. We know a lot of people in the market here. We are partnering with Digit Sapiens and Driton. We're also very well connected with the Karetsu guys. I mean, Coustaury and his initiative. So all those people know us, and I think it's always very good to approach them if you don't have a direct access to get a warm intro to us. But if that's not possible, we are very happy to review everything that comes through our website. We have a very simple red button on our website called, submit your pitch. And we do review all the pitches on Tuesday mornings, and we give answer to all of them. So even if you don't know us, you can still get access to us. And these are the two ways to get to us.
Just to get a little bit more into your job, when you decide to finance or not a startup project, what do you take into account, in general terms?
So you're asking me my secret sauce. So, if I tell you, you're going to have to be killed. That's the problem.
Okay, then don't tell us so much. Tell us just enough not to sell out all your secrets.
Okay. So as you can imagine, the essence of what we do is to invest very early. When you invest very early, you generally don't have any product market fit. You don't have any proof that, what your product is being accepted by the market. That forces us to be very, very thorough on assessing the team. So the short answer to your question is we're going to invest in a team. And to do so, we have a couple of methodology we like to assess. We generally spend a lot of time interviewing the team. Are they credible in the space, in the problem they're trying to tackle? Is the team as a team functions well as a team? Generally 2-3 co-founders. Are they good together, or they were at a coffee yesterday and they decided to make a company tomorrow? You know what I mean? They need to have history together so that when the first difficulties arise, the team is not going to explode, because that's one of the big risks of our investment is when the team dislocates. So the team is clearly the number one topic we assess. Obviously, second to the team, we look at the idea. Do we think the idea can fly? Is this solving a real problem? And with all that combined, then comes an investment decision. That's for very, very early stage investment, which we do.
And what's the investment cap you usually make in the share capital of a startup?
So in percentage or in amount?
In amount and in percentage.
Okay. So our business model works very simply. If there is a company we like, we try to get up to 20% in their shareholding in 2 or 3 rounds. And that, if we go to that amount these days with the size of our fund, that probably means that we will have invested 3 to 4 million in a company. Euros.
Yeah, that's quite important amount for a startup.
In stages.
Yes,
huh? Okay.
Yes,
so we have the example. We have a couple of companies which are 3 million. And let's say that the first check was 500,000, second check was 1.5, and then we did a pro rata round of 1 million when they raised their next round. So, you see, in 3 stages.
Compared to the other region countries, I mean, how would you assess the Albanian startup ecosystem? Do you see we're behind? Do you see we have any particular features that might need to be considered?
Yeah, so I think you were behind, clearly, but I think, and again, that's why we are physically present now in this market. Is I think you caught up. I was able to witness a couple of very important initiatives. You have Kustrim, you have Keretsu guys, and this is, globally speaking, I call that the angel investor community. So you have people that are writing even the check before we do to help teams being put together. And I can see that coming in. I can see some job also done by the various development agencies. You have Jacob in the Swiss enterprise agencies, and you have EBRD also very active with their own program. So you can see that the focus is now coming to Albania with all the I would say the drivers that are necessary to catalyze an ecosystem. And for us, that's the signal that we also need to be here as a VC. So I think you're there. First time I came to Albania, it was in 2003 or 4. I lived here on a permanent basis for 2 years. I loved it here. And I think you have extremely talented entrepreneurs, extremely. And that with a little bit of capital, I think, you could do wonders. And, the big advantage with Albanians is that they know their country is small, and the first thing they do, they generally tend to look beyond the borders. And guess what? That's the essence of the people we're looking for.
Can you identify any, particular profile of business or any sector that might be particularly competitive in this big global startup competition?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not without knowing that there is if you take the digital revolution as the umbrella revolution, you can think about the .com era in the year 2000, and then a few more stuff. Crypto, to some extent, was also a key driver. And then you have another sub-revolution coming under, which is the AI revolution. AI is clearly revolutionizing the way the digital world works and the non-digital world works. And I see a lot of opportunity being created by this tsunami, technological tsunami, which is artificial intelligence. If I think in terms of sector, I don't tend to look at AI as a sector. I look at AI as a sector enabler. And I think that the sectors which will be the most impacted are the traditional sector that have been revolutionized already, such as fintech, logistics, marketing, education, all across, I think. There's not one single sector that is not being impacted. Biotech is clearly also, for us, it's a little bit harder because we don't have any biotech background. But I mean, I think this is an area which will be extremely important in the future, with a lot of disruption coming with thanks to artificial intelligence. So, sorry, my answer was a little bit probably more wider than what you would have expected. But I see all the sectors being impacted. And I would struggle to tell you that one is going to be more impacted than the other. We've been successful in making investment in logistics, in e-commerce, in employment technology, in gaming, in the gaming industry. So, we look at it in a very wide way. And I think that all the sectors are going to be equally impacted and have a very bright future.
From some years, even the governments are trying, to compete you with providing financing to the startups, even becoming part of important projects. For example, the Albanian government has invested in the new Miramurati startup an important amount, but there are also grant schemes for startups, even locally. I mean, do you think that the government can have a role in promoting startups, not only by financing, but I mostly mean by building a friendly ecosystem and a good regulatory environment? I mean, what are your remarks about Albania and other regional countries? What can the government do to, I won't say to help, but maybe to promote startup growth?
I think that there are a couple of things where the government can support. I think one of the big issue entrepreneurs always have is this question of visa. So I think this digital nomad visa and all these kind of things to promote exchanges of people and facilitate people to work and live from one country to the other, especially for the time being that Albania is not yet in Europe. I think it's quite something that the government can do. I myself am very, very wary of government making direct investment. I think everybody has to know their limits. I don't think governments are educated, geared, equipped to make investment. I don't think so. I think I would rather see them maybe asking professional fund managers to administer their fund. I think that's, for me, a smarter approach. And then other than that, I suppose create a legal framework to be friendly with new investment. I suppose that means supporting stock options plan and these kind of things, which are very important for entrepreneurs and for everybody to reap the benefit of the success when there is success.
Julien, thank you for being our guest and for sharing your projects and remarks with us.
Shumë faleminderit.
Faleminderit.